long before humans learned to walk the continents, long before mammoths marched across frozen plains or dinosaurs thundered through forests, there was a ruler of the oceans so colossal that even time itself seems to whisper its name in awe. The seas belonged to giants, and in those deep waters swam a predator unmatched in power, presence, and fear, the Megalodon. This was not simply a shark. It was a force of nature, a titan sculpted by evolution to dominate a world ruled by tooth and hunger. Where today's great white glides with quiet menace, Megalodon drove through the seas like a living storm, weighing as much as a bus, longer than a city bus, jaws wide enough to swallow a human whole without slowing its breath. When it moved, entire schools of fish scattered. When it hunted, the oceans trembled. Imagine the world more than 20 million years ago, a planet warm and vibrant, seas overflowing with life, coastlines stretching wide under tropical sun. Whales were evolving, growing larger, experimenting with forms that would become familiar to us only in fossil records. Early seals and massive sea turtles cruised the currents. Rays glided like flying carpets beneath waves, and monstrous seabirds patrolled the skies. But every creature that dared dip beneath the water knew a lurking truth. Somewhere beneath, then perhaps beneath the calm shimmer of a gentle sea, lurked a mouth lined with serrated blades attached to a body that could strike with violent certainty. In this ocean kingdom nothing swam freely, only carefully, fearfully, watchfully. Megalodon did not hunt in chaos. It hunted with strategy. A whale calf, vulnerable and slow, a giant turtle, cracked like delicate pottery under bone-crushing jaws. Even adult whales were not safe. The predator approached from below or behind, using the ocean's silence as camouflage, then exploded upward in a surge powerful enough to launch prey into the air. A targeted strike to the chest, where lungs and heart lay, ensured death quickly. With one bite, it could shear flesh from bone, tear through thick blubber, and leave a trail of red mist swirling through the currents. The sea, for a moment, would turn still, not in peace, but in dread. And when the titanic form descended, again, the water would swallow all evidence of violence, leaving only a quiet ripple fading into infinity. We often imagine monsters as chaotic and uncontrollable, but Megalodon was not chaos. It was precision. It had warmth in its blood, allowing faster movement than many cold-blooded sharks. Its teeth were serrated saw blades designed not just to pierce, but to tear and slice. Its tail thrust with explosive power, pushing tons of muscle forward like a submarine forged from flesh. Its senses stretched beyond hearing or sight. It could detect faint electrical pulses from heartbeats miles away, feel the movement of water through skin nerves, and smell blood as a message carried by tide. Every part of its existence was honed for one purpose: survival through dominance. And yet power alone did not define this titan. It was part of an ecosystem, a guardian and governor of ocean balance. By hunting the weak and sick, it strengthened whale populations. By controlling massive marine herbivores, it shaped seagrass meadows and coral nurseries. Like lions in savannas or wolves in tundra, Megalodon was not merely a predator, it was an architect of life. Prehistoric oceans thrived because of its presence, not despite it. Even its young played roles within this kingdom. Born already massive compared to modern shark pups, they hid in shallow nurseries protected from deep-sea threats. There, they hunted fish, seals, and small whales, growing steadily until they could venture into deeper waters, joining the cycle of strength that defined their species. But no reign lasts forever. The ocean that nurtured giants began to change. Earth cooled, glaciers formed, sea levels dropped, exposing ancient nurseries and shrinking coastlines. Whales migrated farther, adapted, changed. New predators emerged, faster and more agile, capable of evading giant jaws. Prey grew scarce, competition fierce. The waters that once belonged to titans now belonged to survivors of a different design. Smaller, quicker, more adaptable. Even the giant hunter could not fight climate and evolution together. And slowly, the great shadow vanished from the deep. Yet extinction is never simple. Megalodon did not disappear in a single dramatic moment. It faded over thousands of years. Fewer births, fewer hunts, fewer shadows gliding under sunlit waves. Perhaps a hungry juvenile starved as prey dwindled. Perhaps a great female, tired and slow from years of hunting, sank to the ocean floor where scavengers picked flesh from once mighty jaws. The last megalodon did not die in battle or glory. It faded quietly beneath currents that no longer held enough life to sustain its colossal hunger. A dynasty ended in silence, and the ocean, once shaped by its rule, shifted into a new balance without its sovereign. Still, the legend did not sink fully into the depths. Humans, millions of years later, would find teeth the size of hands buried in cliffs, riverbeds, and ocean floors. Fossil jaws reconstructed in museums would terrify and fascinate. Stories would rise of giant sharks still roaming the deep, ghost legends of fishermen, whispers of massive shadows beneath boats, sonar blips unexplained in the midnight ocean. The world would wonder, could such a creature still exist somewhere? Could the deep trench hide a survivor? Science says no, the food sources are gone, the oceans changed, the cold abyss too harsh. But imagination, fueled by primal fear and admiration, holds a simple truth. Some giants never truly vanish. They live in memory and curiosity and roaring waves and deep-sea mysteries. And in every great white shark, there lies a hint of ancient blood, a smaller echo of a colossal past. They hunt with ferocity, breach with power, command respect in every ocean. When a great white cuts through the water, jaws wide, eyes black and ancient, you see a flicker of the titan that came before. Megalodon lives not in flesh, but in lineage, in instinct, in the pulse of the ocean's oldest predators. And when storms crash into shores, when ocean depths churn, when lightning splits the sky over rolling waves, it is easy to imagine the ghost of a giant moving beneath the surface, silent, eternal, watching a world it once ruled. The Megalodon story is not one of terror alone. It is a tale of evolution's greatest experiment in power, of oceans thriving under balance, of a creature that achieved perfection for its time. It teaches that even the mightiest are bound to the rhythms of planet and prey, that survival is a delicate dance between environment and form, and it reminds us of humility, that life on Earth rises and falls like tides, and no ruler, no matter how powerful, reigns forever. Somewhere in the deepest blue, where sunlight fades and ancient currents drift untouched, the memory of Megalodon swims still, not in flesh but in echo, a reminder that the ocean once belonged to a giant who ruled not through chaos but through unmatched natural mastery. Time may bury bones, but legends do not sink. They rise in waves, speak in fossils, and live forever in the stories we tell, in the mysteries we chase, and in the awe we feel when standing beside an endless sea, listening to the roar of the ancient deep.